member, Mr. Eric Dimaculangan, provisional member, and Superintendent Hinaro Imancho Jr., provisional member and user from PPC. Likewise, we have in attendance our observer from COA, Ms. Aslia Piling, the head and members of the technical working group, head and members of the bus secretariat.
Thank you. Considering the foregoing, the chair declares that there is a quorum. Curricular PGCS number 437-2020 come to order. Secretary, we have scheduled today.
We have 3 items in our agenda, Mr. Chair. Number 1 is the credit conference for the supply, delivery, installation, and commissioning of air conditioning units for Philippine Ports Authority head office. Number 2 is the negotiation for the supply and delivery of multi-purpose vehicles. Number 3 is the pre-procurement conference for the following projects: supply, delivery, and installation of body scanning machines, phase 2, supply and delivery of diaper changers to port areas and buildings, supply and delivery of 15 units Maldiv. Letter C is cancel, supply and delivery of 4 units bus. And letter E, supply and delivery of tactical uniforms and tactical boots for port police personnel.
Thank you. I declare no objection. Let's proceed to the first item on our agenda, the previous conference.
The supply, delivery, installation, and commissioning of air conditioning units for Philippine Ports Authority head office project was posted in the PPA and PhilDep's websites on 28 July 2020 with an approved budget for the contract of 12 million pesos. We have prospective bidders from FMG Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Services, Temprite Engineering Incorporated, Sentine Industrial, Sentin Industrial, Acme Office System Philippines Incorporated, attending via Zoom, SuperServe via Zoom, Regi Equipage Marketing Incorporated.
Okay. Let me call the representatives one by one to see if they have any questions.
From FMG Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Services, Mr. Eduardo Quirante. Do you have any?
Please approach the question.
Senior Lumbes din, and Trisha Gutierrez.
Mr. Chairman, committee and members of the Board of Working Group, good morning. I'm Senor Lubes Jr. from FMG Refrigeration and Air Conditioning Services. I have no question. Thank you.
Okay, well, the next.
Temprite Engineering, represented by Mr. John Bruce Bernabé.
Please approach the microphone.
Good morning, everybody. I'm John Bernabé, representing for Temprite Engineering Incorporated. We have no questions as of now yet.
From Sentin Industrial, Clark Angel Pineda.
Good morning po. I'm Clark from Sentin Industrial po. Wala po question.
Okay, thank you.
Attending via Zoom, Representative Ms. Rose de la Cruz from Acme Office System Philippines Incorporated. Do you have any questions or clarifications regarding the project?
Yes, ma'am, pero regarding technical specification.
Okay, proceed.
Okay na, pwede na po.
Yes.
Sir, kasi may I know the reason bakit po siya nag-failed before?
What relevance does that have to the meeting now?
Kasi sir, the last time we inquired about the refrigerant of yung para sa mga 5TR and mga 3TR na gamit, yung mga malalaki po. Kasi sir, ang available natin sa market is R410A para sa kanila. So, hindi siya R32. Actually, yun din po yung concern ko the last time na kung po pwedeng i-allowed ang R410A.
Yung diagram ba? Okay,
Hindi pa rin po ma'am po pwedeng, sir, po pwedeng i-allowed. Baka naman po pwede kami.
Ay, two prospective bidders noon, they were able to qualify for that. However, for another reason, that failed sila.
Pero meron po kayong nakita sa market na R32 talaga dito, sir.
Prospective bidders kami noon, they failed that requirement.
So, pero sir, if ever gagawa kami ng letter regarding this matter, po pwede naman.
Yeah, you can send a letter.
Sige po.
Any other clarification?
Wala naman po. Wala na po, yun lang po. Yung regarding sa R32 pa din po.
Okay.
Next from Super Sir, Sunshine Francisco or Romulo Caule. Super Sir.
Yes, ma'am. Good morning. Sunshine Francisco, Account Manager from SuperServe Corporation. Sa eligibility documents po lang may question. Pwede na po ba mag-raise ng question? Apo. Doon lang po sa may statement of all ongoing projects. Tanong ko lang po kung need po bang i-attach doon sa mga ongoing yung mga kopya ng contract or PO? Or statement lang?
Statement lang po, pero subject sa, kung mananalo kayo, subject for verification during the post-qualification.
As a post-qualification na po siya needed. Okay po, ma'am. Thank you po.
Any other question?
Okay na po.
Okay, very good.
Okay, the last one is from Mr. Molly from Reddit Equipage Marketing Incorporated. Mr. Molly.
Yes, ma'am. Hello, ma'am. Good morning po. Hello. Po. Ma'am, ask ko lang kung kailan tayo pwedeng magkaroon ng survey.
I coordinate with the Administrative Department for the survey. So, susulat na kayo or tatawag. Hanapin niyo sa PhD. Pwede sa Monday ka.
This coming Monday, sir.
Any other question? Clarification.
Kamu connect siya ulit.
Hello, sir. Pwede, sa Monday po pwede tayo mag-survey, magkaroon ng survey, sir.
Yes, 9 a.m. onward.
Okay po. Thank you po, sir. Yun lang po.
Please be informed that the scheduled submission and opening of bid of the air conditioning unit is on August 27. The deadline for submission is at 9 a.m., while the opening of bids is at 10 a.m., August 27, 2020.
Thank you. That ends the pre-bid conference portion of our agenda. The prospective bidders are excused. They should stop. Okay. Let's proceed to the next item on our agenda. The negotiation for the supply and delivery of multi-purpose vehicles. Give us background.
As a backgrounder, the Procurement of multi-purpose vehicles project was posted in the PhilJets and PPA website. The first posting on March 3, 2020, with an approved budget for the contract of 28,340,000 pesos. The bidding is scheduled on 5 June 2020 after a series of postponements due to COVID-19 was declared a failure pursuant to section 35.1 of the 2016 revised IRR of RA 9184, considering that the loan prospective bidder did not submit their technical and financial proposal. However, they submitted a letter of withdrawal from participating in the bidding. The first bidding was declared a failure in HO-BAC-PGCS resolution number 039-2020 series of 2020. On 11 June 2020, the project was reposted again in the PPA and PhilJets website, but the bidding was also declared a failure in resolution number 046-2020 series of 2020, considering that no bids are received. The BAC in resolution number 049-2020 resolved to directly negotiate with the technically, legally, and financially capable supplier pursuant to section 5B of Annex H of the Consolidated Guidelines for the alternative methods of procurement of the 2016 revised IRR RA 9184 and to change the original method of procurement for the supply and delivery of multi-purpose vehicles from competitive bidding as indicated in the ATP to negotiated procurement under fulfilled bidding. The recommendation was approved by the whole. On 27 July 2020, the request for proposal for the supply and delivery of multi-purpose vehicles was posted in the PTA and PhilJets website, and 3 suppliers were likewise invited to submit their proposals within the prescribed deadline of 3 August 2020, and they are Toyota Alabang, Toyota Quezon Avenue, and Hyundai. Only one supplier responded to the invitation to submit a proposal, and none from the posted request for proposal. So we will now start the negotiation. The technical working group will have the technical working group will take over.
Okay, so to clarify, we invited 3 prospective bidders, 1 submitted, and it has been reviewed by the technical working group. Technical working group, is ready to report?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, proceed.
Toyota Alabang Incorporated, with respect to the legal requirements, submitted PhilJet certificate of registration platinum membership valid until December 5, 2020. It also submitted a mayor's permit valid until September 30, 2020, issued by the City of Muntinlupa. It also submitted tax clearance valid until July 3, 2021. With respect to the legal requirement, Toyota Alabang is capable to enter into this contract. For the technical requirements, Toyota Alabang completed a single contract similar to the contract subject of this negotiated procurement, which is the supply and delivery of various vehicles with the city government of Muntinlupa, amounting to 26,241,200 pesos, which is more than 50% of the APC. Toyota Alabang Incorporated conformed to the technical specifications under the terms of reference subject to the following observations, Mr. Chair. The first one is under our terms of reference requires that there should be a rear air conditioning system. However, the offer of Toyota Alabang is stated as optional as indicated in the submitted brochure. The second is the TOR requires that as part of the after sales and a free labor preventive maintenance services within the 1,000 and 5,000 kilometers. However, with respect to the 5,000 kilometers, the brochure, the service coupon provided in the warranty booklet indicated an exemption to the use thereof, such as if the vehicle being offered is Toyota 86 and Supra models. And the last one is the terms of reference requires that the POR, that the submission of the duly authenticated copies of the ISO certificates. However, the bidder submitted only print out copies of said certificates. With respect to the financial requirements, we submitted
For the information of the other documents, you're trying to show what you're going to give us a copy na pwede nila i-flash. Sa picture. Okay. Antayin muna natin para makapag. Okay. Verification of page ka na dito.
Sir, yung legal sa umpisa, first page, yung technical, first page until page 4.
Sige ma'am, habang nag-ano.
Currently, sure, okay. the legal requirements based on evaluation, they're compliant. Based on financial, they're compliant.
Financial first, no.
No, okay. Based on the financial, they submitted an audited financial statement and the income business tax return. However, based on your evaluation, their net financial contracting capacity is not sufficient.
Yes, Mr.
Okay,
Chair.
so this is one point of concern. What other issues did you raise?
Observation, sir.
So with regards to technical component,
The technical component, number one is the rear air conditioning system, our POR requires that there should be a rear air conditioning system. However, the brochure submitted of Toyota Alagang Incorporated only stated optional with respect to this requirement.
where is that here?
Page, sir.
Page 3. Can you show page 3? Okay, so air conditioning system, front manual, rear, our requirement is there should be a rear air conditioning system. However, on the offer, it said it's optional. Okay. What other aspects?
The second one on the part of the technical requirements is the page 4, the free labor on preventive maintenance services within the first and 5,000 kilometers. With respect to the 5,000 kilometers, the service coupon provided in the warranty booklet indicated an exemption to the use thereof, such as Toyota 86 and Supra models.
Okay. Before we clarify, let's go over all the concerns.
And the last one is the terms of reference requires that the submission of duly authenticated copies of ISO certificates. However, the bidder submitted only print out of those certificates.
Okay. So since this is a negotiation, we are allowed to clarify matters with the prospective bidder. That's not correct.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay, you can address the prospective bidder here.
Okay. First, ma'am, yung first item regarding the financial.
Ikutin natin na lang. See, you asked the question.
Financial. Your current liabilities is higher than the current assets, as stated in the audited financial statements. And it appears that it is not sufficient it's not your financial contracting. You are the net financial contracting capacity is not sufficient to cover the ABC for the project.
Okay. Actually, ma'am, as a large dealer, because we are classified as a large dealer by the Automotive Corporation, we are required to have an inventory of not less than 300 units per month. I think that question will be clarified. We will submit a additional document regarding that. Maybe we could submit a credit line facility to support the document.
Mr. Chair, under section 25 of RA of IRR of RA 91984, the bidder may submit in lieu of the NFCC a committed line of credit, which must be equal to 10% of the ABC.
Okay, the submission of additional documents is allowed under negotiation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
It's not similar with the regular bidding process, wherein since it was not attached, it would be considered a enhancement of the bid. So here, since considering this negotiation, they are allowed to submit additional documents after the initial evaluation.
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Okay. We will evaluate.
Mr. Chair, if I may. Mr.
Yes.
Chair? Yes. Regarding the submission of additional documents during the negotiation, would there be a period for, let's say, all the prospective bidders to submit, I don't know how you call it, a modification or something? For them, like for example, the financial thing, sabay-sabay ba yun?
But in the instant case, there is only one prospective bidder. So later on, after we finish everything, we'll set a period in which they should submit the necessary requirements. We'll check first whether or not it's necessary to set a period, since they might not be able to comply with the other clarifications.
Okay, thank you.
So, yung ibang clarifications, then we can set a period. But based on the report of the technical working group, this insufficiency can be remedied. So let's check the other observations.
Okay, thank you.
Remedy.
When can you submit?
Tapusin mo na natin yung ibang aspects.
With respect to the technical requirements, number one is the rear air conditioning system. Your offer indicated, the brochure you submitted only indicated as optional.
For the rear aircon, ma'am, we are offering two kinds of FX, Hilux FX. One without the rear aircon and one with the rear aircon. The one I submitted to you is with aircon. Yun na po kasing brochure is a standard brochure na talagang nakalagay yung optional.
But if you have clarified, there are two models. You have two models.
Yes, sir.
One has aircon and the other does not have any air conditioning. But what you're offering as a response to our invitation is the one with a air conditioning.
Yes, sir. The one with aircon. Yun pong nasa quotation ko is with aircon. With rear aircon.
Will we need them to respond in writing regarding that, or is this acceptable their statements there?
I think
Proceed with other areas of concern.
the second is the 5,000 service coupon provided in the submitted warranty booklet. It indicates an exemption there too. We may need to clarify whether the exemption such as Toyota 86 and Supra models apply to the brand being offered.
Okay. Yung lahat po ng nasa warranty booklet is a standard warranty booklet for the Automotive Philippines. No? Yung pong FX is qualified for a free PMS, no, labor, free labor for the 1,000 and 5,000 kilometer checkup. However, meron lang po si exception na nilagay for the Supra and 86 models, which are sports car, na hindi po sila qualified for a free PMS labor ng 5,000 kilometers. So, category po, kasama po yan. Meron pong free PMS for 1,000 and 5,000 kilometers labor, ma'am, free labor.
Okay.
And the last one, the TOR requires the submission of duly authenticated copies of the ISO certificates. However, you only submitted printouts of those, printout copies of those certificates.
As regards to the ISO certificate, no, I've checked with our ISO team. Yung certification is only issued through net, no, but we are really certified by ISO. So yung lahat po ng certificates is only through online.
Is there any, so through online, is there a posting of all certified entities wherein we can determine that you are part of the list?
Yeah, I think so, sir. There's a list, but I have to check with our ISO team how to access that.
Can be authenticated separately. So
may, as end user, we may not require the submission of the authenticated as long as they comply with the submission of the required documents.
That's sufficient. That's considered authenticated.
Yes.
Okay.
Sir, wala lang po yung original plus the ribbon. Wala na yun. So you are waiving that requirement.
Hindi na. We will
Hindi na.
dispense with that.
Okay. Attorney, is there any other?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so the response of the prospective bidder. Ano na lang remaining issue?
The line of, the committed line of credit, Mr. Chair.
Okay, so as you stated a while ago, the prospective bidder is allowed to submit additional documents and they have signified an intent to submit a letter of credit. So can you set a period? How many days do you need? Is there, one moment, is there a period provided for under the rules? Once a period?
No, Mr. Chair.
Okay, can we inquire with the prospective bidder how many days they would need in order to submit the necessary documentation?
Sir, that I have to check with our finance department as to how many days they could get the certificate. As we all know, we still are in NDCQ right now, so banks are skeletal first. So I cannot commit if I can do that within 1 week time because of the situation that we have right now.
Okay. What's the pleasure of the bank? The prospective bidder has signified an intention to submit additional documents in order to comply with the financial component. They have, based on the report of the technical working group, they have complied with the legal component, and as a result of the clarifications made today, they have also complied with the technical component. So they only need to comply with the financial component, particularly the net financial contracting capacity. They stated that they need time to apply with the bank for the certification, the line of credit. However, they are unable to give us a period as of now, considering that they will need to coordinate with the bank. And they also stated correctly that we are still under NDCQ. Will we set up?
Okay, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Yeah. If there is no any legal impediments whatsoever as far as 9184 is concerned, then and it's now MECQ, can we have schedule based on what's going on right now?
I don't understand.
Okay, sorry.
Okay.
The
to communicate with us by Monday next week on the set number of days they need, and then we will decide whether or not it's acceptable. And we can rule at that. If we decide it's acceptable, we'll wait for the period and then see whether or not they comply with the financial requirement. If we decide that it's too long, we set our period, and then if they cannot submit within that period, we will declare that they failed to comply with the financial component. Is this acceptable?
yeah, that's acceptable. So we are not we're still within the 9184 as far as scheduling is concerned for negotiation.
Kasi one advantage is we only have one bidder, so we have time at the moment. So is this acceptable, Mr. Bidder?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
So we will expect a letter this coming Monday.
Yeah, we will submit an official reply on Monday.
Stating clearly how many days you need.
Yes, sir.
And then the back will, I think we have a schedule. We have a schedule on Thursday. So on Thursday we can take this up to decide whether or not the period in which they requested is sufficient. Any objections from the back? Okay.
Mr. Chair.
We'll proceed as stated. Okay. Anything else on this particular matter, Attorney Solis?
Actually, together with the technical proposal, the bidder submitted the financial proposal. So I think, sir, we also have to read
Okay.
your proposal.
Where is the financial proposal? Okay. As submitted they have before me the offer of Toyota Alabang Incorporated for the supply and delivery of our multi-purpose vehicles. They have submitted a bid per unit of 1,090,000 pesos. Considering that we are ordering 26, the total is 28,340,000. Okay. Also considering that we are still awaiting the submission of additional documents, we will not be ruling on this particular bid. Anything else on the matter? Okay. That ends the negotiation for the supply and delivery of multi-purpose vehicles portion of our agenda. The prospective bidder is excused. Thank you. Let's now proceed to the pre-procurement conferences. Okay, we'll be presenting for the supply, delivery, and installation of body scanning machines, phase 2. I believe this was presented before, and there were issues raised by the back for clarification. So we will only focus on the matters.
Deployment first. On the deployment.
Yes.
Yung sa deployment na lang.
Deployment and yun na ba yung integration?
Sir, at saka yung kung operational po yung existing
Okay.
natin.
Yeah, okay.
Will be addressed by Super.
Okay. Let's see. Is it acceptable to the back that they only present the deployment and the usage of the current body scanning machines, and we don't go over the technical specs? Any objection?
None, sir. This is Jo. Mr. Chair,
Yes.
would they also present the market study that we requested? How did they arrive at the ABC?
Okay, let's ask yes, ABC, the basis for the ABC. Will you can you present that as well? In ABC, the market study. Will you be presenting the basis for the So the ATC was based on the price under phase 1. Okay. Let's have them present the deployment and the usage muna before we discuss how they came to the ATC. Right.
So the body scanning machines will be deployed to the following port management offices and PMOs. Two for PMO Negros Occidental, Bacolod, Banago, and Fresco. So one will be deployed in Banago and one in PMO San Carlos. One in PMO NCR South, one for base port Lanao del Norte in Ligan. Two for PMO Marquez, one in base port and one in PMO Balanacan. One in PMO Northern Luzon, one for NCR North. Five for PMO Mindoro, Calapan, Abra de Ilog, Rojas, Puerto Galera, and Bulalakaw. One in PMO Palawan, two for Negros Corporate Lansividor, one in Baseport and one in La Reina. Two for PMO Western Leyte Biliran, one in Baseport and one in Hilongos. One for Eastern Leyte Samar. Three for Surigao, one in Baseport, one in Lipata, and one in Dapa. One for PMO Abusan, one for Davao, and one for Baseport Masbate.
Okay. Any questions regarding deployment?
Sir, Jo. I've noticed there's still PMO NCR South and NCR North. As I mentioned during the first pre-proc, there's already a terminal operator. Why are we including them in the list?
Hey, my name is Roger. So the deployment of the state scanning machine, we are based on the recommendation and suggestion from the station commanders of the reports.
What?
Yung, well, this is knowledge from a separate aspect. Okay? Pero ang alam ko kapag security, tayo yung nag-handle niyan. This is security equipment. Yeah. Yeah, are you there?
Sorry, sir. Ano po yung tanong?
Hindi, kapag security equipment, hindi natin pinapaubaya sa operator, tayo sa security ang kumukuha.
So, saan po yan i-deploy? Sa PMO mismo? We don't have much na tao naman doon. May passenger. Alam ko sa passengers yan, di ba? That's why you chose yung mga ports na yan because of the high volume of passengers. Am I correct or did I get it wrong? Kasi parang yun yung recollection ko nung nakaraan eh.
If I may, Mr. Chair, actually, it's not only dedicated for passengers. Lahat yung mga transacting persons na pumapasok sa POB, sa lahat ng facilities. So, hindi hindi siya dedicated lang sa pasahero.
Sir, so i-install to sa PMO? Hindi sa mismong area wherein ang Manila North Harbor, yung MNHPI na yung manage. Even yun sa ICT, even yun sa South Harbor. Saan po i-install?
Mr. Jordan. Ano yung deployment sa kasi natin sa South Harbor, Davao, North Harbor? Naka-deploy siya sa natin sa may admin building nila mismo. Kasi doon pumapasok ang port user. So di naman talaga ito kailangan na sa terminal of nilalagay. Kasi sabi nga na Sir Eric, hindi naman to ang passengers na marami ng mga port users pumapasok sa mga business natin sa mga admin building po natin. Doon talaga po nakalaan.
Pero sir, sino pong magma-manage niyan? Is it PPA? Kasi may terminal operator na tayo. Dapat yung mga security equipment, I don't know, Jen, is Jen there? Kasama ba yun sa kanilang contract? Kasi kung kasama yan sa contract, dapat hindi na natin yan i-procure.
Hindi po ma'am, iba po yun. Hindi kasama sa security contract po natin. Additional equipment po.
Oo, pero ni-require ba natin sa port terminal operator that they will have additional security equipment? Kasi sila na nagmamanage ng area eh. Ang PPA wala nang gaano pagdating sa mga equipment for that area. Dapat sila na. Kasi terminal management contract yun.
Joy, if I may.
Yes.
Operated by the private operators o carbuhanting po.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Private ports po or sa North Harbor na operated by the private carbuhanting. Kasi doon sa private gaya ng North Harbor operated by the private carbuhanting operators, lang tayo, limited only to the terminals. Pero yung sa base port po, tayo po yan, success control tayo pa rin po.
Mr. Chair, if I may.
Yes.
Yeah. Siguro lang, I'm not very particular with the PTMRF thing. Siguro yung delineation of the security places or siguro yung location lang, baka kailangan which one should be supposed to be secured by PPA with their equipment and which one should be secured by those private operators. So I don't have any problem as to the procurement as far as merong delineation siguro, alin ba yung para sa PPA, alin yung para sa private operator. And secondly, since this is phase 2, kung yung phase 1 ay fully equipped and utilized na, and that we need additional just to make it more secure. So siguro ako yun lang yung comments ko with regard to the procurement of this. Kasi baka iba kasi yung objective of securing for the private operators and for that of PPA security master plan with regard to, let's say, ISPS code, OTS compliance. So siguro lang yun yung ma-delineate natin so that we know which one to secure and who will secure which or who.
Okay. As stated by the Superintendent of the Port Police, the body scanning machines assigned to NCR South and NCR North are for the port operations building. So building natin to. So hindi to covered ng operator. Secondly, I'm not sure sa contract ng ports na to, pero sa mga contracts to be bidded out, the trust is we will not transfer securing our ports, the duty to secure our ports to the operator. So yung manning and securing our ports remains with the PPA, notwithstanding the operations being transferred to the operator. So whatever happens, security belongs to the PTA and responsibility ng port police. So, yun, I just don't know kung ano yung provisions ng North and NCR North and NCR South. However, as stated, hindi yan covered ng operational area na ginagamit ng operator because operations building natin nilalagay. Does that address your concern, John?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, isang question lang.
Yes.
Movable ba ito? Movable ba yung body scanning? Kunwari, let's say, for example, na-privatize yung isang port and then you have to deploy this in another port, pwede siyang i-move. Kunwari, hindi naman siya sa passenger, may security threat sa, let's say, sa admin building, pwede rin siya. Pwede ba yun?
Lipat dito pareho sa baggage x-ray na it's a big machine. Parang it's a camera na nakatutok. May area lang dapat na palapit yung tao para and then yung monitor nung person manning the body scanner. So it's much more movable than a yung regular security equipment natin.
Mr. Chair, just for the information of the committee, it was installed as part of the first phase to our PTV in Cagayan de Oro during the inauguration, wherein the Secretary of Transportation was the guest. So during that inauguration, the Secretary pronounced that we will be all agencies under the umbrella of the OTR shall be installing this type of equipment.
Okay, okay. But the wisdom of the purchase is not under the purview of the law. We're just checking deployment and the use of the previously purchased equipment.
Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Okay, now the deployment. Are there any other questions regarding deployment?
Mr. Chairman, I will ask the clarification. Yung sa deployment po, PTA po ba mag-handle or hindi?
Actually, for the first phase, we procured for 6 PMOs to each PMO, so we procured 12 units.
So are all these units being used? Are they being used?
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, number one consideration is since they were deployed, so and as committed on the contract, it was the supplier made the proper training for the personnel, but considering that there's a lack in personnel, number one, they are all operational, and sometimes there are lacking personnel to man. So that's why it was also, if the back will recall, there was also, I think that was 2019, we also had the procurement of the operators, but unfortunately it was a failed bid. So that's what that was as per guidance of the GM. So we made the process on the procurement of the operators in order to address the mining of baggage X-rays and similar security equipment.
Okay, to summarize. You stated that we have purchased 12 body scanners, deployed to 6 PMOs, and they are currently being used. However, there are times where we have difficulty with the operator. And in light of that, we are procuring additional operators this year simultaneous with the procurement of the second phase.
Mr. Chair, sorry hindi ko narinig kanina. Do we have, may operator dun sa lahat ng 12 na pre-procure? Or we have difficulty, sorry Shopee lang po.
Pero there are times na walang operator. Tama ba yun?
Sa lahat, sir? Kasi what will happen dito sa 25 kung wala ring operator? Meron pa ba tayong ongoing? May naka-line up ba for procurement ng operators?
Line up for procurement operators.
Meron pong naka-line up. Sorry medyo mahina yung dating sa akin dito eh.
Okay, naka-line up. Pero nagagamit yung 12 natin pinurchase before. However, because yun nga, delay yung procurement of personnel, may times na nahirapan sila on money. So, itutuloy pa rin yung deployment, yung pag-procure natin ng personnel.
And as I was mentioning earlier, Mr. Chair, it was already processed last year, 2019. If I remember it correctly, parang mga bandang, mga bandang June siguro, July. But it was, unfortunately, it was a failed bid. So we will be requesting for another set of procurement for these operators in order to address the concern of the money.
In order to ensure money.
In order to ensure money.
Okay.
Will that be this year, sir? Sir Eric?
Yes,
this quarter.
Yes, we will be revisiting on the number of personnel from the previous DOR kasi baka dadagdagan natin dahil considering na ito nga yung mga ongoing procurement for the security equipment. Pero kung hopefully we will be able to finish them by September.
Thank you, sir. Sir, another question. Yung mga dadaan po ba sa ma-scan ng body scanning machine, do they still have to go through yung walk-through metal detector, tapos yung X-ray baggage machine? Paano po bang procedure nito? Saan po muna sila?
They will be, una muna yung body scanning, then, kasi yung metal detector, it can only detect metal items, So itong body scanning kasi, kaya ang nakalagay dun sa terms of reference, which was previously discussed, it can detect yung money, kung matatandaan yung money nakalagay na sa paper bills, pwede. Kasi di ba minsan yung mga launderer ginagawang money belt. So nakikita yon pagkatapos kung may drugs man sa katawan. So una muna body scanning, then walk through metal detector in the event lang na let's say meron concealed na hindi na because of the volume din kasi minsan so parang we really no room for to sacrifice natin yung ano. Kaya kung meron mga redundancy, so yun lang talaga ang pwedeng gawin in order to address proper security on our facilities. Kaya ito sa baggage naman kasi, so yun, yung mga dala-dala ng mga dadaan doon sa walkthrough natin.
Sir, what about K9? We procured also for K9?
Yung K9 kasi, yun naman, so yung sa K9 naman natin drugs naman, yun yung mga nakatago naman sa sa mga packages or yung mga luggages na pumapasok or sa bag. Pero dedicatedly for chemical yun, yung ating K9.
Mr. Chair, pwede ba kami mag-request sa security support police ng yung list ng mga security equipment na pre-procure natin? Is it operational? Katulad ng body scanning machine, vehicle scanner, x-ray, CCTV, walkthrough, tas yung K9, saan siya in-install? Anong status niya? Is it operational? Just for the purpose, not really, para lang every time kasi nagtatanong kami, so para lang ma-refresh kami kung ano na yung mga na-install natin and how many.
Okay. We'll require ASD&D for police to submit the list of all the security equipment purchased, the number, the areas deployed, and statement whether or not it's being used, and whether there is an operator. For clarification, Joe, wala tayong vehicle scanner.
Yung sa Batangas, hindi ba natuloy yun?
Hindi natuloy yung this last. I think that the contract was canceled.
Okay.
Mr.
Thank
Chair?
You. Yeah.
Yeah, I also agree with that, so that in every time that we will procure an additional phase for these security measures, we will have our reference. Thank you.
And SRPH. Okay. Okay, with regards the ABC, it was stated to me that the ABC was based on the pricing of the first phase equipment. So no new market study was made now.
Was there a markup or same price?
Same price.
15 million each?
Yes, yes, same price.
Okay.
Okay, any other questions? What's the pleasure of the back?
Okay, Mr. Chair, I move for the procurement of this supply, delivery, and installation of body scanning machines, considering the comments and suggestions of the BAC members. Thank you.
Second motion, Mr. Chair.
It is moved as seconded. We approve the procurement of the supply to different installation of body scanning machine phase 2 going to position there too.
Madam Mr. Chair.
There being none, the motion is carried. Secretary is instructed to proceed with the preparation of the bidding documents and posting of the same. Let's proceed to the next. Supply and delivery of diaper changers to port areas and buildings. I believe this was also presented earlier, previously. And that there were concerns necessitating the okay. With regards to deployment.
Yes, we coordinated this with the Port Operations and Services Department with Ms. Jen Rebong to make sure that the areas for deployment are all PPA operated ports. So we will be procuring 285 units of diaper changers and will be deployed to the following locations. 5 for Masbate, 15 for Bicol, 8 for Abusan, 15 for Mindoro, 21 for Lanao del Norte Iligan, 23 for Western Beta Diligan, 17 for Panay Guimaras, 27 for Eastern Leyte Samar, 8 for Negros Oriental Sikihor, 14 for Zamboanga, 38 for Bohol, 4 for Misamis Occidental Osamis, 15 for Bataan Aurora, 7 for Marquez, 9 for Palawan, 16 for Cagayan de Oro, 25 for Davao, and 18 for Northern Luzon for a total of 285 units.
Okay. Open the floor for question. Any questions?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
tanong ko lang yung market study rin, kung how did they arrive at the price, and then is it gonna be delivered to Baseport only or sa PM or pati sa TMOs? Directly sa Baseport ba or pati sa TMOs?
Mr. Chair, if I may. Number one, based on the deployment schedule that was presented, the delivery shall be, for the winning bidder, the delivery shall be in the PPA head office. So the ASD will be the one to send them based on the deployment schedule. Number two, for the market study, actually we arrived with the ABC that was included in the APP based on different canvases. Previously kasi, before we place that on the APP, nag-canvas muna. So, tsaka dun sa number of units, before that was 315 eh. So based on the first presentation to the back, so may observations nga na meron dapat tanggalin for the pero we decided not to change the amount placed on the annual procurement plan, Mr. Chair.
Sir, tama ba computation ko? 49,000 yung isa?
If we will be pegging on the 14 million. So, kaya medyo yan nga kasi, that was the previous canvas eh, medyo mataas siya. So, tapos yung number of units, hindi na ako eksakto kung tama nga kung 49 kasi kung dinivide lang din natin ngayon yun dun sa number of units. That's what I was saying before, mas marami yung quantity nga dun sa nalagay na compute namin. So, most probably baka mga lesser than 49 naman yun. Pero we decided nga not to change the ABC in the APP.
Okay,
Sir, ang worry ko lang sir kasi kung hindi natin i-change yung ABC, tapos mababa na siya, baka may isa lang ang ang magbid, tapos di ba minsan may bid tayo na halos walang gaanong discount na nabigay, may mga ganun tayo eh, parang piso lang ang discount. So yun lang ang worry ko kung hindi natin masyadong pag-aralan yung ABC. Kasi malaki yung difference eh. Kung 300, ilan yung nakaraan? 350?
315.
Yun lang, sir.
Mr. Chair, if I may, if we are going to change the total number, then perhaps we might as well change the ABC, so that we will focus on the price per unit as per market study.
We will propose that to, as part of the amendment for the APP. We'll propose it with GM.
Okay, so we won't approve this until we.
Siguro, we can just, we will have, if we can suggest that,
We'll approve this, pero subject to the revision of the AP, the budget. Is that acceptable to the back? Any comments? The ASP will be revising the ABC to properly reflect the reduction of the number of diaper changes based on their current canvas.
Pati yung sir, yung CAF, mapabago. I'm not so familiar kung paano yung connection ng changing ng amount doon sa CAF na naka-allot na sa kanila. CIF ba or CAF yan?
Babagal din. The same pa rin.
Sir, request na namin kung ano yun nasa APP, pero they haven't issued it yet.
Revise na lang din.
Yes.
Okay. They'll revise it as well, Joe.
Okay, thank you.
So will we approve this, subject to the correction of the ABC?
Yes, Mr. Chair. May I move for the approval? Mr. Chair?
Yeah, the floor.
Okay, I move for the approval of the terms of reference for the supply and delivery of diaper changes to port areas and buildings, subject to the recommendation on the changes made with regard to the ABC and the total number of the units that will be procured.
Second motion, Mr. Chair.
Just to move that to approve the procurement of supply and delivery of diaper changes to port areas and buildings, subject to the division of the ABC. You're in a position there too. There being none, the motion is carried. The action may start to proceed with the preparation of the bidding documents and the posting of the same. Okay. Okay, let's proceed to the next. I will proceed.
A supply and delivery of 15 units mandate. The PPA aims to provide a total of 15 units mandate for the PPA port management offices. The nature and volume of work at PPA necessitates the procurement of mandate to greatly enhance the capacity to perform its expanded mandate and ensure safety and readiness to all responsibility centers. The mandate, which is a 3-in-1 multi-purpose vehicle, will be used for maintenance, firefighting, emergency, rescue operations and response, and security surveillance. For the scope of work, the supply and delivery of 15 units mandate at PPA head office, then will be deployed to the following PMOs: Northern Luzon, Bataan, Aurora, Marquez, Mindoro, Bicol, Panay, Guimaras, Negros Occidental, Bacolod, Managua, and Quezon. Negros Oriental, Siquijor, Eastern Leyte, Samar, Western Leyte, Biliran, Lanao del Norte, Iguan, Soxargen, Zamboanga del Norte, Zamboanga, Misamis Occidental, and Zambis. The deployment of respective PMOs will be handled by PTA head office within 30 calendar days from delivery by the supplier. As part of the after-sales service, provide basic toolkit and free labor on preventive maintenance services within the first 1,000 and 5,000 kilometers. The approved budget for the contract is 225 million pesos. Authority to purchase 15 units mandate was granted by the Department of Transportation to PTA based on the approval of the DBM.
Mr. Chair, if I may, before the presentation proceeds. Mr. Chair. Actually, before we, as part of the requirements, before we procure a motor vehicle, it needs to be we need to have an approval from the Department of Budget and Management. So for these items, for the procurement of the manlift and bus, we already secured the approval of BBM. It's actually on my left, dated July 24, and signed by the Secretary, Secretary Abisado. Thank you, Mr. Chair. Please proceed, Ms. Milo.
This is a picture of the mandate.
Hindi papalitan na yung sasakyan mo ng ganun.
So this is the description: aerial platform made of high strength steel for boom maximum.
Okay, saan ginagamit to?
It's a multi-purpose vehicle, actually, Mr. Chair. You can use that in for the replacement of busted port lighting bulbs, which are on different height, and it can also be used for cleaning trees. It can be used also for rescue operations.
Mr. Chair, question lang.
Okay.
Kapag nagpa-approve ba tayo sa DBM, nandun na din yung cost per unit? Nandun na rin, pati yung budget?
I'm looking over the authorities of purchase motor vehicles. There's a quantity, there's a type, there's an intended use, and there's a cost.
Thank you. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Mr. Chair, we are actually coordinating with our controllership department requesting for the certification of availability of funds.
Okay. Any other questions? Or we can allow them to proceed? Okay, Mike.
So these are the description of the mandate. Cabin chassis, mandate, the water pump, standard configuration, safety devices, obligations and responsibilities. The contractor or supplier shall be able to submit an exclusive distributorship certificate for the manufacturer of the mandate, water pump, and live streaming device. Have supplied mandate within the Philippines with an amount of at least 50% of the contract price. The manufacturer of the water pump must have an after-sales office in the Philippines, duly registered with SEC. Copy of the SEC registration must be submitted. The specific brand or model unit being offered must be covered by a brochure or technical data sheet of the mandate, water pump, and live streaming device. If the mandate, water pump, or live streaming device is malfunctioning and inoperable despite the host for the troubleshooting, the winning bidder shall provide maintenance service to the site within 72 hours after notification at no cost to PTA.
May live streaming device?
Yes po. Yes, sir. Meron po.
Yes, Mr. Chair. Actually, just in order for the ground operator monitors the one who's inside the bucket kung nasa taas. Kasi meron yung camera, tapos monitor niya sa baba kung ano ba mamaya na kuryente na or nakulong or for purposes of safety.
For the delivery, all 15 units of mandate must be delivered within 120 calendar days at the PPA head office after receipt of the notice to proceed. The supplier must provide a minimum of 4 hours training to PPA personnel for the use of the equipment. For the warranty, for the vehicle or chassis, 1 year or 50 kilometers, whichever comes first, manufacturer's warranty booklet. For the man-cave water pump and live streaming device, maintenance services and replacement of parts for 1 year at no cost to PPA. And if the equipment is inoperable and malfunctioning, the winning bidder shall provide maintenance service to the site within 72 hours after notification within warranty period. Payment, full payment upon delivery and submission of official receipt and certificate of registration. An inspection and acceptance report must be duly accomplished by the procuring entity for purposes of payment. For the other requirements, for the vehicle and chassis, the specific brand or model unit being offered must be covered by a brochure or technical data sheet. The brand being offered has been continuously in the Philippine market for at least 15 years as shown in the certificate. Spare parts of the offered unit must be in the Philippines for the next 10 years after the last date of manufacturing of the specific model. A certification from the dealer must be submitted. Provision and inclusion of the following: safety 3 SRS airbags, 3 years LPO. Now actually seatbelts pala dun sa ano. Instead of the airbags, seatbelts. So 3 years LPO registration fee, interior matting, seat cover, glass tint, and ISO of dealer or dealership. Must be at least 15 years in the business as an authorized dealer of brand new vehicles. Must submit a list of nearest dealership with service centers, at least 5 in NCR, 5 in Central and Northern Luzon, 5 in Southern Luzon, 5 in Visayas, and 5 in Northern and Southern Mindanao. Must have completed a single contract similar to the contract to be paid, whose value must be at least equivalent to 50% of the ABC. For this purpose, a similar contract means contract for the procurement or supply and delivery of mandate or ladder truck.
Any questions?
Yes, Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Oo. Hindi ko lang matandaan how this would complement doon sa ano yun, natuloy ba yung firefighting natin dati, di ba? May mga ganon. Magko-complement ba ito? May complementary ba ito?
Considering that it's also, Andy, it is also multi-purpose vehicle, parang kasi ba for purposes ng rescue, di ba nga, sunog for high altitude or high, which has a height requirement, so yung matataas na lugar, so pwede siyang gamitin. Extendable kasi yung kanyang lift parang as presented, hindi ko matandaan lang kung ilang meters yung kanyang maximum height para itaas.
Sir, itong ano, who will operate this and which unit from the PMO will be responsible for these vehicles?
It may be by the ASD or ESD. ASD or ESD.
So hindi na to sir under ng Port Police ano kasi operational ano na siya.
Yes, so it's also part, it will be primarily used for maintenance.
Okay sir, thank you.
Sir, first batch lang ba to or magkakaroon pa ulit ng iba? Tsaka ano po yung basis ng pagpili ng mga PMOs? At yung market study po, kung we have a market study on this. Kaya tayo nag-arrive dun sa ganong price.
Yung Ma'am Jo, yung number of units was based only on the, kasi inano ni GM, or ito yung budget na pwedeng gamitin dyan. So we will compute on how many units we will be acquired. So meaning, considering na hindi naman siya mako-cover yung lahat ng PMOs, so hopefully magkakaroon tayo ng second phase pa for this type of equipment. Tapos, dun sa market study, so since it was also presented to the Department of Budget and Management, so they made the study also. Then may mga remarks dito sa and we can also always attach this document from DBM when they approve the requested. When they approve the request for procurement, so yung mga material data na nandun, which includes the costing.
Okay, sir.
They have a breakdown per unit and they approve total amount. So yung authority natin, nakaset siya sa quantity and cost. Any other questions?
Mr. Chairman, so how about the manner of deployment, the areas of deployment? Paano po sila come up with the specific ports?
Mr. Chair, actually, based doon sa checking natin dun sa mga, kasi ito yung, honestly speaking kasi, yung ibang, tayo kasi most of the time, parang pag meron tayong requirement na ganyan, nanghihiram lang tayo dun sa mga port operators. So, syempre, minsan na-hamper din yung efficiency dun sa, let's say, kailangan palitan yung mga puntitong bumbilya, kung hindi available yung nasa na ginagamit ng port operator kung meron man. So, yan yung isang naging basis kaya din tayo nag-decide din ang management to procure such equipment. At the same time, yung tanong ni Attorney Steffi na how to we come up with the deployment list. So, yun yung na-check namin na ito yung mga areas din talaga na napaka-minimal nung the same equipments.
Any other comments?
Siguro more on observation lang po, based sa experience po namin sa pag-iikot during the past years. In particular, yung Negros Oriental City Hall. Tama po na meron po kasi talagang areas doon na will be needing replacement sa mga ilaw ganyan and a lot of repairs na medyo matataas yung height. So, I think magandang siya.
added equipment pagdating sa operations. Masasagot din po yung mga observations na nire-report namin sa GL.
Okay, any other comment? Any comments?
No more comments. Mr. Chair, can I move?
Okay, proceed.
Okay. Mr. Chair, I move for the approval of the terms of reference for the supply and delivery of 15 units man-lift, considering all the comments and suggestions presented by the BAC members. Thank you.
It has been moved and seconded to approve the procurement of the supply and delivery 15 units mandate for position number 2. There being none, the motion is carried. Secretary to ensure the proceed to the preparation of the bidding documents and publication of the same. Okay, let's proceed to the tactical or class. Tactical uniform.
Supply and delivery of tactical uniforms and tactical boots for port police personnel. The Philippine Ports Authority seeks to procure the supply and delivery of tactical uniforms and tactical boots for port police personnel to ensure their safety, security, and protection during rigorous operations. Scope of work, one lot comprises the following components: 217 pieces tactical uniforms and 217 pieces of tactical boots. The above-mentioned components shall be delivered to PBA head office and distributed to the port police personnel of all stations in the 25 PMOs and PMOs.
Mr. Chairman, excuse me, if I may. Just a minor correction on the number of pieces for the tactical boots. I guess it's appropriate if we put 217 pairs.
Okay.
Yes, thank you. Sorry.
The approved budget for the contract is 5 million pesos. These are the details of the battle dress attire for port police officers. 217 battle dress and 217 pairs of combat shoes. For the general requirements, initial taking of body and foot measurements and fitting, all other activities in relation to this project shall be strictly undertaken within the PPA premises. In no instance shall an employee be obliged to go to the shop of the supplier for a measurement, fitting, and refitting. The supplier shall make the necessary alterations pertaining to sizing, weight, and length of the uniform, or completely replace the same as the situation may warrant, free of charge. The duly altered uniforms shall be delivered within 2 weeks from receipt of the uniform, subject to alteration or replacement. There shall be a mandatory fitting and alteration period during which the port police personnel shall carry the uniform for fitting and and alterations needed for its use. It shall last for 2 weeks beginning on the day the uniform is delivered for fitting. The supplier has the right to refuse or any request for alterations made outside this period. The supplier shall strictly comply with the agreed schedule of alteration as may be determined by PPA. The deliverables shall be delivered complete per lot. The supplier shall strictly comply with the actual measurement of each individual instead of using category sizes such as small, medium, and large. The delivery to PGA head office must be within 90 calendar days from receipt of the notice to proceed. PTA will transport the uniforms to the respective PMOs. For the warranty, 6 months warranty on manufacturer defects for the tactical boots from the date of receipt of the acceptance. Within the warranty period, the supplier shall within 72 hours from notice replace the defective tactical boots at no cost to PTA. Full payment will be made after proper delivery, inspection, and acceptance of tactical uniforms and tactical boots. Certificate of completion shall be provided by the procuring entity or end user for purposes of payment. Other requirements must have completed a single contract similar to the contract to be paid whose value must be at least equivalent to 50% of the ATC. For this purpose, a similar contract means contract for the procurement or supply and delivery of tactical uniform and tactical.
Any comments?
Answer, nakalagay naman na yung 217 pairs, no? Kasi dun sa nakalagay sa amin na sinabit sa amin na TOR, wala yung pairs eh. Wala yung quantity. Yun lang yung question ko, pero na-present naman na nila. So no further questions, Mr. Chair.
No further comments, Mr. Chair.
So, hindi. Bakit ito yung mga ongoing recruitment niya, hindi pa tinikas ko.
Hindi pa kasi masukatan sa talaga based on the actual numbers of police.
Aside sa okay, so yung 270 is 1:1. Okay.
Okay, na move, Mr. Chair. Can I move for the approval?
Yeah, the floor.
Okay. I move for the approval of the POR for the supply and delivery of tactical uniforms and tactical boots for port police personnel.
It has been Mr. Khan to approve the supply and delivery of tactical uniforms and tactical boots for port police personnel. Do you have petition there?
None, Mr. Chair.
There being none, the motion is carried. Secretary has instructed to proceed to the preparation of the bidding documents and publication of the same. Anything else? There being none, the agency is encouraged to finalize all the documentation with regards to the approved projects. Since there are some projects which have been previously approved but have yet to be closed. I think that's the problem, not exactly. Okay? Thank you, Mr. Chair. Meeting is adjourned.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.